Yo, what's up guys? Today, something different, but something I'm definitely very excited about. Etheria Restart. It's a game that's going to be released soon, and there's going to be another CBT starting off the 9th of January. If you want to register for that, link is in the description down below. But let me tell you about this game and why it's cool and why I think you should just give it a try. Etheria Restart is a turn-based strategy game where you can customize your characters, level them up how you would like them, customize them how you would like them, build teams, and then fight your opponents with it. This is a PvP-driven game. There's a lot of PvE things to do as well, but as you can see, these characters, they look crispy, they look dope, they look really nice, and also the skills do look very nice. There's also a few key points here, like we all have been playing like similar games, otherwise you're probably not on my channel. But there's a few key things in here, which I think like, wow, this is just made so smart. And you can already see that here on the right. Just the simple skills already show like, okay, what does a skill do in general sense? Even if you're not familiar with the game, at least you can know it's like, hey, this skill is going to do something like this. And we're zooming through a lot of units really quick right now. I'm going to go zooming in on the top 10 that I think are the most cool units that I'm going to be looking for pulling in this game. Hopefully, you never know. But first, let me explain a little bit more about the game itself. Etheria Restart will be having a CBT starting on the 9th of January, and it will be playable on iOS, Android, and on PC, either through a PC client itself or Steam. As mentioned before, this is a PvP-driven game. At least the main focus is PvP. Sure, you could play it more focusing on PvE. There's a lot of dungeons. I will show a little bit more about that as well. There's definitely a lot of dungeons. First time I looked around, it's like, wow, there's so much going on. But you can maybe recognize this from some other games as well. RTA style, so real-time arena. You have pick and ban. You have a timer saying, okay, you have this much time to pick something against your opponent. If something is already selected, your opponent cannot select it, and vice versa. If they steal your units, you cannot pick that. So in here, you can build your teams, craft good teams, have some synergy with them, and also counter your opponent by strategizing your way through it. Once 5 are selected on both sides, you have the choice to remove one unit from the battlefield that you would not like to play against. In this case, always go for the one that has like a high synergy or is the main damage threat or something that is really needed for his team. So in this case, we remove that unit and the opponent will do the same thing for you. Afterward, you're going to be duking it out in a 4v4 battle, and right away you see a few interesting things already on the screen, the things that I really do like that some other games don't really do. At the bottom you see in which order the units will take the order of attacking. In that case, it's very cool to see like, okay, which one is moving right now and which one is moving next, rather than for some games you have to look at like the attack bar gauge that is right below their HP bar or something like that. It's a little bit harder to see. In this case, it's a lot easier to see. Another thing that I really do like about this game is where you see the QWE. Well, in the case of an animation, which are also looking great, by the way, you do see what kind of skills those, or what is the main thing of that skill. I did previously mention that as well, but in this case you can see like, okay, the W is a shield, the E is a taunt, and you very easily can pick up the game. Even if you have no clue what the units do, it is at least kind of simple to say like, okay, what is going on? Also, if you were to click on the buff that is on the top right, which they exactly do at the right moment, if it would zoomed in a little bit longer on that, then you could actually click on the skill, say like, okay, there is this buff or debuff, what does it actually do? Sure, in RTA it will go too fast that you cannot really read everything, but you get through the game and then learn your way that way. Because of course, with the new game, there's always a lot of stuff to learn. As mentioned before, on the 9th of January is the start of the CBT, and at that time I will also be streaming this game. So if you want to check that out, you know where to find me. To register for the CBT, link is in the description down below. However, they also have an invitational tournament where we have a bunch of players duke it out, and that will be on the 11th of January. And you might see a few familiar names in that one as well, because they also invited a few influencers from all across the world, so even Europe, and that includes me. Yes, I will be duking it out on the 11th of January, so hope to see you there. If you want to know the exact timestamp, follow in the Discord, because the timestamp is not 100% sure yet, but you might also recognize this guy. Mr. Jambi himself is also in it, and there's at least one thing. I gotta do better than this guy. That's, if I lose against anyone else, doesn't matter. I gotta at least win Jambi, right? So that is definitely very hyped to look forward, and that's going to be on the 11th of January. Besides PvP, there's also a lot of PvE to do. Through here, you see some of the menus that you have, where you have your dungeons, where you can find your shells, which are, well, sort of artifacts if you're familiar with other games. You also can get your EXP for your animus, which are your monsters. or you can just get your upgrades for equipment in here. And there's definitely a lot of cool battles in here that you can do and where you can get all of your upgrades. Of course, these battles, you can play them on auto, you can play them on 3 times speed. Currently, that's just on 1 time speed. And this is where you want to duke out your dungeon and just get your rewards in as quick as possible. And this is definitely something that you would have running on the side most of the time. However, there's also your main storyline. You also have Union, that is also known as guild content. But within the main storyline, it's a bit more of an active gameplay. This is where you will walk around in an environment of just a stage where you can collect certain items. You can perform sneak attacks on enemies to skip battles, or just go battling them face to face right away. An example of a sneak attack would look something like this, and therefore you skip that whole battle so you don't actually have to fight against that opponent right there. However, if you do get noticed and you do try to perform a sneak attack, you will actually go into battle because you cannot beat them if you're not sneaking up on them. And with that, you just have to select your normal units and duke it out in a normal battle as we're used. There's a lot of different characters named here as Animus, and there's a few that I would like to zoom into, which are my top 10 that I would like to use in this game. First would be Leon. She is a fire damage dealer, therefore you also do see the thing on the top right with the fire element. If you click on the skills, you can read more about what they all do, but she has a whole bunch of AoEs, and the best thing about her, she is free to play. She's a unit you can get early on in your main quest, and that's definitely one of those units you want to be picking up, you want to be building, because overall, lots of damage going in, 2 times AoEs, can absolutely clear the waves very fast that way, and just a solid damage dealer overall. Looking at some of her skills in battle over here, interesting thing is if you switch the skill that you want to do, you also do switch to stand. But look at that fire phoenix and everything just going in. That looks amazing. Also, right away with that, she gets some turn cycling, she gets her skills in, can do multiple skills right after one another. Very nice looking unit. Second character I would like to show is newly released in this CBT, which is Hoyon, and I think she's the most badass character that is in this game right now. She's just looking absolutely dope. Double daggers, wings, everything just looking crazy good. Plus, she has an insane kit. Her skill 3 consumes 50% of her HP, absolutely assassin style, and then deals a lot of damage, while even dealing more damage for the more HP that she lost, by therefore ignoring more defense of the enemy. However, that becomes even stronger with her passive on the skill 2. Once she dies, she actually comes back with 60% HP and immediately uses that third skill to try to take the unit out that just hit her. Plus, the moment she actually kills something, she will revive another unit. While also reviving that other unit, she also gets a stack of fleeting glance. That means every stack she also gets extra attack for the next targets. There's just so much stuff going on with her kit, and she's absolutely dope. Absolutely my most wanted, and if I pull her, even if she wouldn't perform that well, I just build the whole team around her because she's just that dope. Oh, and besides that, let me actually show you her animations. You can also give certain shells to her where she gets life leech, so she consumes HP to hit this amazing looking skill right away. That's her third skill. But she also gets life leech for how much damage she did because of that shell, which is just a nice combination right there. Next up, Veronica, also newly released unit. Very cool skill set as well, especially that third skill where you steal buffs from your opponent, but you actually spread them towards your whole team. So there's multiple ways that you can just, it's like, oh, you have a lot of buffs. Now we have a lot of buffs. Once again, also solid looking animations, just the rose thorns, everything, slapping into the enemy, stealing all of those buffs. Good stuff. Next up, Lilith. Absolutely one of those very strong characters. It is a strategy game where it's all about taking your turns and utilizing your turns. Well, Lilith is one of those units that says like, I'm playing the game, but you're not playing the game. I'm controlling you with slows. I'm controlling you with stunts. I'm controlling you with everything that you not actually can take your turn. Her second and third skill have a unique debuff that after 2 turns, it detonates and gives a stun. Plus, she is max HP scaling, so your own HP. So while absolutely denying all of the turns on the enemy side, she's also very tanky and deals the damage based on that. Plus, there's extra cycling of getting extra turns on that skill 1 to lower your cooldowns. There's slows. There's so much stuff going on to her kit. She's absolutely one of those units. If you have the chance, pick her up. You will enjoy her. Let me tell you that much. You will absolutely enjoy her for all that she brings with that many debuffs that she can bring to the opponents. Next up, Ling Luo. Probably I butchered the name. Sorry for that. She is arguably best healer in game, and during the previous 2 CBTs, she was a unit that was being free picked up after 7 days. Not 100% sure if that's going to be the case in the actual release as well, but she's absolutely best healer in game. Already, we can simply just see skill 2, AoE heal, skill 3, AoE heal. What more do we want? Even skill 1, there's a slight healing in that as well. So just heal on top of heal on top of heal. You definitely want your healers in these kind of games always. Plus, she also brings the immunity, so you cannot be affected by any debuff unless the immunity is dispelled in the first place. Absolutely one of those core supports that would fit every team and any team at any time and every time. So definitely one of those units you probably want to be building anytime. You would like to play with a lot of debuffs? Well, let me show you one with a lot of debuffs. Close. There's just debuffs, stealing, turn stealing action, and more debuffs. This is a hacker, and she has insane skills for just simply defense breaking the enemy, having a hacking progress, which is just extra damage taken every time as well. There's just so much stuff going on with her kit by just providing the utility from debuffs. And the interesting thing is even her skill 1 has debuffs. And in a lot of these strategies games, we notice that a unit is very strong if they have a strong skill 1, because sometimes your skill 2, your skill 3 is on cooldown. In the case of Close, no problem. We still have a very strong skill 1 that still provides the good debuffs from her. So all you want to do is you see an enemy, you want to drop those debuffs, and those debuffs are going to hit hard. And also, once again, cool looks, love the style of her. Then another unit that's very interesting, Doki Doki. She has Strike Preparation Plus, which is attack bar gain for the whole team. If you played any of these kind of similar strategy games where attack bar matters, you know that this is insanely strong. And she's actually one of the few characters that does it right now. Absolutely one of those very strong units where you would say like, okay, she's moving first because you put a lot of speed on her, but now the whole team is moving first. So also absolutely one of those units, if you go into battle, she wants to be moving first. And then we just say like, okay, we'd like to select that moves right after me as well. And we can actually see it with the attack bar gouts that all of these units start lapping the boss because they just had that speed buff. Talking about more strong supports, but also a very all-round kit. And if you like units that are very all-round, Tiamat is probably the one you want to be looking at. She has shields, she has taunts, she has a bit of healing. There's a lot of stuff going on in her kit. And the interesting thing about taunt is where you cannot always stun the boss, you can almost always still taunt the boss. So there's definitely a lot of options that go in for her. Also with her, the longer the fight is, the more chance she has to transform into her dragon form, which would just do an insane amount of damage as well. And one of the characters I think personally has one of the most slick looks, man. I'm just a sucker for girls with white hair. That's my thing, I guess. I don't know. But this one, single target damage, slapping everyone with a blade. You have the extra damage taken by 30%. We have the defense break, so all of the damage that is needed. Plus her animations is just simply looking slick. I love this style of just multiple swords raining in upon the enemy, destroying the whole thing. So you're saying you like units with damage? Well, let me introduce you to a unit with a lot of damage. Heinrich, you already see is like, okay, badass looking guns. AoE hits right there. We got buff block, we got heal block, and we got a lot of damage going on in this unit. With this third skill, he has the chance for last wounds that gives you simply more critical damage on all of the units that hit after him. So besides him having a lot of damage himself, he can also set up other units to deal even more damage. And with big cannons comes big explosions, right? That's what you gotta do. We know how that works. Looking smooth, looking crisp, and looking like big ass damage explosions. And then the final unit I would like to introduce you is apparently also a girl with white hair. I'm not sure about the other ones, but maybe that's a pattern for me. What kind of style I like. You can also lower cooldowns on the enemy, which is always important. But the best part about that kit is that skill 2, where you just boost everything on that one single target ally that you want to buff speed on, crit damage on, and give it the extra turn. It's just so nice in general. And then if you put that on a unit with heavy damage, it's gonna be a lot of damage right there. So with that, those are my 10 units that I would like to see most on my account, either during the CBT or during the launch of the game. I did talk a little bit about customization already, and you can pause the video here at any given moment that you like and would like to actually see what's going on. You got a lot of set effects over here. And you have a lot of set effects that there's either like a 4, an 8, or a 12. At the moment that they give different kind of stats. And there's just a lot of stuff going on, a lot of combinations to be made because you have 6 different slots for items And all of these slots, I think give 3 or 4 per. So you have a lot of options where you could say like, hey, I'm not just going for like a 2 set kind of thing. I have a combination of a lot of different kind of styles that you could work with. Plus, besides that, we have shells. And shells, I did hear a few other content creators talk about it. It's kind of like pets, collecting pets. But these pets do a little bit more than just look dope. This is a lizard with a gun. Like, I don't know why, but I like it already. But as you can see on the bottom right, they have certain matrices available, which are those set effects. Plus, all of these shells also do have their own skill, which you can see on the right side. Plus, you can see at the higher level legendary shells, they have a lot of matrices available. So you have a lot of options you can actually go for. So that's everything I wanted to show you today. I hope you are as hyped for this game as I am. I will definitely be playing on the 9th of January. So definitely check out my Twitch channel. But also, if you want to play with me, check the first link in the description, which is the link to sign up for the CBT. CBT starting once again on the 9th of January. And then the tournament is going to be on the 11th of January. And I hope to see you during those streams. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Guys, thanks for watching and see you as always in the next one.